and welcome to Free to Play. This is part 2 of my 3-day paper craft series for Valentine's Day. So in video 1, we learned how to make little gift bags from paper Whole Foods bags or Trader Joe's bags or wherever you get your paper bags from. I asked you to save your scrap fabric because in this video I'm going to show you how to make flower paper made from recycled paper. You can use any paper for this project. I just have a surplus of Whole Foods and paper bags, so this is what I'm going to use. But I have, if it's not already shredded up, you want to take some time and just kind of shred up your paper into littler pieces. So this is like a good size piece for your pile. You could just go through and take whatever paper you have. I'm going to do many more of these videos with different ideas that I have for which kind of paper you can do. And I'm just obsessed with paper making. I did not create this out of thin air. I learned this from an Instagram account. I will include her information below. I got the tips and tricks from her. I believe in spreading this information and this knowledge all around the entire world because I believe everybody can be able to do this. And so I think just being able to share that with my community is exciting, because who knows if the people that I know follow this Instagram account that I follow. So, and maybe you would like doing something like this. So just go ahead and rip off all your papers. We're going to go ahead and fill this with water and submerge the paper with water, and we're going to let that soak for, I always do it overnight, so like 12 hours ish, 8 to 12 hours is what I let my paper soak for, just because I want to make it extra soft to be able to be blended up. And let me go ahead and show you what the final product's going to look like. So these are my final papers. I use a circle grease splatter guard, so they come out circle like this. If you want a square one, you can go on to that Sipster account and look at what she uses for square paper. I just think this is easier, and I haven't tried another method besides this. But we are going to make flower paper, so kind of what it's going to look like depending on what kind of dried flowers you have lying around your house. I am going to cut these out into hearts and give out for Valentine's Day as my daughter's Valentine's Day card. I also sprinkled some flower seeds in here, so you could market these as plantable paper because they are biodegradable, so whoever you give these to could go ahead and plant them in the ground and maybe they'll grow flowers. Who knows, maybe you need a little bit more seeds in order to kind of market them as that. I didn't put that many seeds in my mix, so I probably won't market them as that, but it does make it kind of fun. So you could do whatever you want. You could throw whatever you want in this paper mixture, and I will go ahead and show you how we're going to do that, starting with soaking water. Alright, so I have my paper in the bowl, and we're just going to go ahead and, fill it with water. After it's completely full with water, I like to put like a plate on the top to kind of just make sure that the paper is submerged all the way. But you're just going to go ahead and soak this in a bowl overnight. I mean, you probably only need a couple hours, to be honest, but again, that's just what I do. So I do overnight soaks. Alright, so this is the next day. The paper's been soaking. You can kind of just see it rips apart a little bit easier. And now we're going to take our Ninja food processor, I've already done a batch, and blend it into this pulp. You're going to go ahead and add a lot of water. This mixture is really watery, and I'll go ahead and just walk you through and show you how I add it to the blender and blend it up. Alright, so just go ahead and take your paper and just add it in. I use a Ninja food processor for this. I think they're incredible. It blends everything. and I love it. You're gonna add a lot of water to this mixture just to make it easier to blend. It blends very quickly if you add more water. And that's it. And all you do is just go ahead and add that in there. I'm also gonna fill this up with water and add one more bowl of water into there, and then we'll go ahead and add some more dried flower petals. All right, so I have a ton of dried flowers all around my house, so this bundle I think is, well, they're all from my partner, but I'm not sure when it was from. But what I'm gonna do is just go ahead, and you can like break these flower petals up way more if you want, or you can kind of just throw them in. I've just been doing this for this project. It's just kind of throwing them in as they come. The rose, I'll go ahead and just break it up like that. And then you just add whatever you want from your dried flowers. And again, you can play around and make this craft entirely your own and get as detailed with it as you want, or get even more whatever with it that you want. Whatever you want to do, there are no rules to your play. Imagine if you were a kid and some adult or some person came into your room and told you how you were playing was wrong. It doesn't exist. Even when you're an adult. When you're making this kind of stuff, there are no rules. Unless you make them for yourself. So you're just going to give it a really good spin, and then we will go ahead and start making our flower paper. Right, so this is what it will look like. You need some towels. You need a table with a sheet on top. I used a fitted sheet and kind of tied the edges to make it a little bit more secure. And you need a big bin. This is my paper, or this is my splatter guard that I'm going to use to make my paper. And you can see that I have my sprinkled flower petals already in there. It's pretty big and it's pretty full of water and paper pulp. It just kind of depends how thick you want your paper with how much water you need, but really just play around with it. Just fill a bucket 2/3 of the way full, and I have a lot of paper pulp in there. Quite a lot. So when you lift it up, that's just filled with paper. On the screen, I didn't even try. Go ahead and give it a really good stir, and I will show you the process. So again, you need towels, a bucket, a splatter guard, and a table with a cotton sheet. I use all cotton materials always. I just think they absorb better. All right, so the first paper, kind of just get it all level on your splatter guard. And you can kind of sprinkle any last minute petals or anything you want on there. And then you're going to go ahead and just take it and splat it down on your sheet, and use your towel to lift up the excess water. I like to turn my splatter guard around and just do that again, just to get it really nice and flat. Alright, so here are the papers on the sheet. look pretty good. So you're going to let them dry completely on the sheet. I am a little bit impatient, and I tried to pick them up before they were dry, and they curl a little bit too much. So wait until they're completely dry, and they will just rip right off, and I'll go ahead and show you that when they're ready. And I go ahead and just save my bucket if I'm not done with it. I find a lid if it's outside, but if it's inside, I just kind of leave it like this under my table. And I have reused it now for like a couple days, actually like 4 days. So just so you know, you can reuse it and just kind of save it in your bucket. So it's the next day. The papers are really dry. They've kind of crinkled up the sheet a little bit. I've already peeled off a couple of them, and they're looking really good. So I'm just going to show you how to peel one off. So you're just going to go ahead and kind of line the edge with your finger and kind of get up as much as you can around the edge. And then go ahead and just slowly peel back. And some of the flowers won't make it, and that's okay. There you go. Just pulling up really easily. And there you go. And here are the papers. I flattened them down with some books overnight just to get them to lay a little flatter. If you do want to use your papers and cut them and have square paper, you can also just cut these into squares. And then you can reuse the extra scraps from cutting them into squares for another batch of paper. So that is a way you can get them into squares. We're going to cut ours into hearts for our project and include them in the Valentine's Day gift bag. But here are the beautiful papers, and I'll show you the hearts next. Right, so I have cut out my flower paper that I made into a heart shape. You can see the pretty flower petals that dried on there. I painted it a little bit with some extra hearts, and my daughter will go ahead and write her name on the back, and we can go ahead and just put that in the gift bag. And her little Valentine's Day gift bags are coming together so nicely for her class. So again, if you do make this little setup, please share with me in the comments, and I'd love to see what you created. Come back for tomorrow, and we will be making some paper flowers using this paper, and then maybe adding it also to our little Valentine's Day collection.